Om Sri Sai Ram. We are beginning the first year mathematics syllabus from today, and the first chapter happens to be that of sets. So, in the next 6 sessions we will be studying about sets, various types of sets, set operations, complement of a set, and then word problems which can be solved by using the set theory. Let us begin and try understanding what is set. What is definition of a set? How do you define? We can understand in a very simple way that if you collect certain things, we can call it a set. You collect certain numbers, we can call it a set. But can we call every collection a set? For that, we need to understand the definition of set. What does the definition of set says? A set is a collection of numbers or objects which have got a common property. To write it, we will say a set is a well-defined class or collection of objects. What is most significant in this definition is this particular word well-defined. What does it mean? It actually means a common property which lies among all the objects, all the members of that particular collection. Take for example, first PUC class. In first PUC, we have got science section, commerce section, art sections, etc., etc. Even in science section, maybe there is A section and B section. So, suppose you are sitting in a section class and together you form a set. Why do you form together a set? Because all of you have a common property that all of you have passed the 10th standard and choose to be a science student, or you are selected for science stream. All such boys are only there, so that makes a set. Suppose in your class a student who is still studying in 10th standard comes and sits, then we cannot call it a set, because that particular student who has not passed 10th standard is not eligible to sit in the 11th standard. Collection of numbers. We have been studying about numbers right from our childhood. Natural numbers form a set and we call it set of natural numbers. You include 0 in it, we call it set of whole numbers. You include negative numbers in that, we call it set of integers. Include rationals in that, we call it set of rational numbers. Include irrational in that, we call it set of real numbers. So, we are already familiar with many types of sets, but what is most significant is that all the members, which we generally call them elements, have a common feature. All of them will have a common property. With the help of this, we can decide whether a particular member or particular element belongs to that particular set or does not belong to that particular set. Take for example, set of vowels of English alphabet. Let us say we are calling it a set of English alphabets. So, we know that the vowels of English alphabet are A, E, I, O, U. In this particular set, you cannot put consonants, means you cannot put B and C and D, etc., etc. all of them have a common property. Because of that, they are members of that particular set. And any other alphabet does not have that property, so it does not belong to this particular set. Two very important things we need to remember. In order to represent a set, for example, we said set of vowels. You can see that we have used a capital letter V. Whenever you want to represent a set, you will be using capital letters of English alphabet. Sometimes it happens that, now let us say the student joined the 11th standard class and teacher does not know the names of the students. So how do you manage to write the set? If you know the names of all students, you will write the names of all the students. By writing each name and putting a comma, you write all the names of the students. That's how a set is represented, and this particular method is called roster form. Take one more simple small example in order to understand. For example, here set of vowels A, E, I, O, U. We wrote putting commas in between them. So this is one way of representing a set. What do? We write all the members of the set by putting commas in between them, in between the middle brackets. Remember, for set we will be using middle brackets. And to represent a set, we always use capital letters. And if you do not know the members of a particular set, as we were discussing, a teacher does not know who are the students of his class, there is one more way of representing a set, which is called set builder form. Or in order to understand that, let us say same set we want to write in set builder form, it can also be written as X such that X is a vowel, so this X, which we are taking as a representative of the whole group of people, group of letters, having this common property, X is a vowel. So this particular set will contain only vowels. It does not mean that only one vowel. It can be any vowel, it can be all the vowels. So X can be A, X can be E, X can be I, X can be I, it can be O, it can be U. So these are two different ways of representing a set. The first one is called roster form. Why do we call it roster form? Because in earlier days, in big factories, before people used to enter to do that particular day's job, they used to go to a register in which they used to give their attendance. Nowadays things have changed and the attendance is taken in different ways, but at that particular point of time, the names were written in a register and they have to go and sign, which was called roster. So in that, it used to happen that all the employees' names used to be mentioned. So if you mention all the elements of a set by putting commas in between them, the method is called roster form. Whereas if you choose one particular letter X and mention the property of all the elements of that particular set, we call it set builder form. So what is that we are doing? We are using a small letter X, which is called variable here, which is a variable, and we are mentioning the property of that, property of all the elements. So this kind of representation, that is representing a set in roster form, is convenient if number of elements are less. But suppose a factory has got 1000 people, you cannot keep on writing the names of 1000 people. So what do we do that? In that case, we say X is a member or an employee of that particular factory, and that will be applicable for every employee of that particular factory, every student of that particular class. So if a teacher does not know who are the members of or who are the students of his class, if he has to represent it as a set, he will say X, and X is a student of science section of first PU, and that will be a representation. Two important things, as I mentioned, In order to represent a set, we use capital letters. In order to represent elements, we use small letters. Sets are written in between the middle brackets. We use middle brackets for representing set and we put commas in between them. If you repeat the elements, they are counted only once. It may happen that, for example, apple is a word. If we want to say A is equal to X such that the set is written in set builder form. If I want to convert into roster form, I will write it as A, P, L, E. What I mean is, I don't need to repeat P 2 times. Even if it is repeated 2 times, it will be considered only once. We will read it as one element, we will not read it as 2 elements. So, these are the letters of the word. Because their capital letters are used, we have used capital letters, but otherwise when you are assuming, when you are writing on your own, you will always use small letters. So, the 2 methods, one is roster form, another is called set builder form. Let us move to different types of sets. The first one being empty set. Now, let us say you are sitting in a class, you want to make a set of members or list of students who are above 7 feet. Just think how many students will be there in your class who are more than 7 feet tall. In general, nil. No element will be there. So, such sets are called null sets or empty sets. How do we write it? We don't write, in order to write null set, we have 2 ways of representation. One is a Greek letter called phi. This represents null set, or you leave the brackets empty. Don't write 0 inside that. Why? Because 0 is also a whole number. If you write something, that will be counted as one element. So, nothing should be written. Either you represent it by phi or you leave it by empty bracket. So, it is called null set or empty set. Let us go to the next definition. Next definition is about finite sets. Now, you are sitting in a class. Can you count number of students in your class? Yes, of course. Whenever we are able to count number of elements in a set, it is called finite. When you are not able to count, we say it is infinite set. Your class students number can be counted. So, it is a finite set. Number of students in your college can be counted, is a finite set. But if you want to count number of students of this world, we may not be able to count. So, it will be an infinite set. When number of elements are uncountable, it is called infinite set. When you are able to count, it is called finite sets. Number of stars in the sky, you do not know how many stars are there. So, it is an infinite set. Whenever we are able to count, it is finite set. Let us move to the next definition. Next definition is about equal sets. Suppose you have got one set A and there is one more set B. Let us say A, as we wrote here, and let us say this is another set X. X is a vowel. Are they equal? Yes, they are equal. Why? Because first set contains A, E, I, O, U and the second set is written the same set in a set builder form. If you convert into roster form, that will also give you the elements A, E, I, O, U. So, both A and B are equal. So, when do we say two sets are equal? If all the elements in set A are present in B and if all elements of set B are present in A, we say that both sets A and B are equal. If each element of set A is there in B, if each element of set B is in A, we say both are equal sets. So, these are few definitions to begin with, and then few symbols which are used in sets. What are the symbols, special symbols which we use in sets? The first and foremost is this means belongs to. Does not belong to. Later on we are going to come across this. This is for subset. In fact, this is the subset and this is for proper subset. This is a symbol used for union of two sets. This is a symbol used for intersection. This is the symbol used for difference. This is the symbol used for complement. Similarly, this is the symbol used for all. This is the symbol used for and. This is the symbol used for or. These are some of the symbols which we are going to come across in while studying sets. As we come across, we will be discussing about it. Right now, if we just know two symbols, that is good enough. One is this particular symbol, more like a E, which means belongs to. What is important to remember is this particular symbol should be used between an element and a set. It is not used between two elements. It is not used between two sets. It is used between an element and a set. For example, here I will say A belongs to A. A is an element of A. Now, if I say B, we say B does not belong to A because B is not there in this particular set. So, what is to be remembered? Belongs to and does not belong to are two symbols used between an element and a set. It is not used between two sets. It is not used between two elements. It is used between an element and a set. So, let us proceed and solve some problems. The problems of first exercise are all objective problems. So, we do not need to do it on the board, but wherever it is necessary I will write it, but otherwise please observe and then you will know. He says the first problem, which of the following are sets? Which are sets and which are not sets? How do you decide? You can decide that it is a set only if all the elements of that particular group have got a common property. If there is a common property, it is belongs to, they together form a set, else they do not form a set. First one, he says collection of all months of a year beginning with the letter J. So, if you want to write what are the elements in this, we can say A is equal to January, June, July. So, together they form a set. What is the speciality among all of them? That all the words are starting with the letter J. Second one, the collection of 10 most talented writers of India. When we say talented writers, each person will perceive a different set of people. I can say that this person is highly talented, another person may differ and can give some other name. So, it will not be common. Since it is not common, it is very difficult to form a set of most talented. I can make my own list, but that may not be same as another person is making. So, since we cannot find a commonality between them, we say it is not a set. Third one, a team of 11 best cricket batsmen of the world. You would have seen just before a test match or before any international tournament, various cricketers come out with their own team saying that these are the best, the cricket team according to them. So once again it indicates that that list which one cricketer makes differs from the team which is made by another cricketer. It is not same. The elements are not same in the list. So once again we say that it is not a set. Why it is not a set? If you make a set, it should be same by made by anybody. Go to the next one, the collection of all boys in your class. Whether you make a list or teacher makes a list, it is going to be the same. So it is a set. Fifth one, he says collection of all natural numbers less than 100. What are the numbers which are less than 100? Starting from 1 up to 99. So it is a set. So in this particular way, if you find something common among all the elements and made by anybody, if it is same, it is a set, else it is not a set. Let us move to the next problem. He says in the problem number 2, he says A is equal to the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the elements, or you can say first 6 natural numbers, and he wants us to use the symbol belongs to and does not belong to. Means you have to use the symbol belongs to and not belong to. What are the questions? First one is 5-A. Do you find 5 in this set? Yes. So 5 belongs to A. Second one, he says 8-A. Do you find 8 in the set? You don't find. So we say it does not belong to A. Third one, he says 0-A. Do you find 0 in the set? No. So we say it does not belong to A. Next one, he says 4-A. Do you find 4 in the set? Yes. So we say 4 belongs to A. 4 belongs to A. Next one, he says 2-A. Do you find 2 in the set? Yes. So it belongs to A. Last one is 10-A. Do you find 10 in the set? No. So it does not belong to A. I think this particular problem clarifies when to use belongs to and when to use does not belong to. If you find a certain element in the set, we use the symbol belongs to, and if you don't find, we use the symbol does not belong to. Once again, go back to that important point which I have mentioned. In every case, you can see these are all elements and this is a set. So whether it is belongs to or does not belong to is a symbol used between an element and a set. 5 is not a set, 5 is an element. A is a set. It is always used between an element and a set. Let us go to the next problem. Write the following set in roster form. First bit, he has given set in set builder form, and what it reads, x is an integer and x lies between -3 and 7. Which are the integers between -3 and 7? If you go back to the number line, it is very clear that between -3 and 7, the numbers which are there are -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, he said between. He did not include the extremes. Basically, we call it open interval. So whenever it is open interval, extremes are not included. So this is the answer. Take the second one. X is a natural number less than 6. Natural numbers start from 1. So which are the natural numbers less than 6? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take the next one. C, in C he says C equal to x is a 2-digit natural numbers. 2-digit natural number starts from 10 go up to 99. But what you have to choose? Such that sum of its digits is 8. Those 2-digit numbers, sum of whose digits is 8. Let us say first number is 1. What should be added to 1 to make it 8? So it is 17. If you start with 2, 2, 6. If you start with 3, 3, 5. If you start with 4, 4, 4. If you start with 5, 5, 3. If you start with 6, 6, 2, 62. If you start with 7, 71. If you start with 8, 8, 0. In each of them, if you add the digits 5, 3, 5 plus 3 is 8, 6 plus 2 is 8, 7 plus 1 is 8, 4 plus 4 is 8, each one of them fulfill the common property. Fourth one, D is a prime number which is divisor of 60. Which are the divisors of 60? Once you know which are the divisors of 60, you can pick up prime numbers among them. So, if you have to only write divisors, means with which you can divide 60, you can divide 1 with 60. So, 160, 230, 320, 415, 512, 610, 7 it will not go, 8 it will not go, 9 it will not go, 10, 10, 6 we already wrote, then 11, 12. So, these are the numbers. All these numbers divide 60. Now, the set consists of prime numbers among them. So, which are the prime numbers among them? Remember, one is not a prime number, one is called a universal number. The only even prime number is 2, so 2 can be taken. We have 3, we have 5, no more. So, these are the numbers which divide 60 in the same time, they are prime numbers. Prime numbers which divide 60. All these are divisors of 60. You can divide 60 with 60, you can divide 60 with 30, you can divide 60 with 20, you can divide 60 with 15, 10, 6, 5, all. They are all divisors. But our question is prime divisors. So, this is the answer. Let us go to the next. He says the set of the letters in the word trigonometry. Suppose a letter comes 2 times. You do not need to write 2 times. Just write the letters of the word. So, E is equal to these are the letters the word trigonometry is made of. No doubt in this some letters come 2 times, some letters may come even 3 times. While writing we will only write once. Means what? In a set if a letter is repeated 2 times, we do not count it 2 times, we will count it only 1 time. So, these are the letters. Next, the last letter, the last one. He says the set of all letters in the word better. No doubt T comes 2 times, E comes 2 times, but while writing we will write only once. This is how we form the sets. Let us move to the next problem. The opposite now. In the previous problem, he happened to give the sets in set builder form, we converted into roster form. Now, in this problem he has given sets in roster form, we are converting into set builder form. Let us take up the first one. First one we can call it, let us say A. The elements are 3, 6, 9, 12. What are they? You can see that they are all multiples of 3. They are all multiples of 3, but not all multiples of 3. 30 is not there. The biggest is 12. So, how do you write it? This can be written as x such that x equal to 3n, n is less than or equal to 4 and n belongs to n. What does it mean? X is equal to 3n. N can be substituted with a number less than 4. And what kind of number? A natural number. Which is the number less than 4? It can be 1. If you take n as 1, x is 3 into 1, 3. If you take 2, 3 into 2, 6. If you take 3, it will be 3 into 3, 9. If you take 4, it will become 12 because up to 4 we can take. This is how we can convert a set from roster form to set builder form. Let us take the next one. The second one consists of 2, 4, 8. Let us say we call it B, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Observe them. What do you find? 2, for your understanding, just to know how to write, we can say 2 is 2 to the power 1, 4 is 2 square, 8 is 2 cube, 16 is 2 to the power 4 and it is 2 to the power 5. So, as a result, we can say x such that x equal to 2 to the power n. But you have to tell what is n. N is a natural number, means you are substituting only natural numbers, and you are not substituting all numbers, you are substituting only numbers less than or equal to 5. So, if you substitute 3, 2 to the power 3 is 8. If you substitute 5, 2 to the power 5 is 32. So, in this particular manner, knowing the properties of the elements, we can convert a set which is in roster form into set builder form. Let us take the next one. 5, 25, 125, 625. As you find there, similarly here. This can be written as 5 to the power 1, this is 5 square, this is 5 cube, this is 5 to the power 4. This you do not need to write, this is for your understanding. So, how do you write this particular set? We will say x such that x is equal to, there we wrote 2 to the power n, now we will write 5 to the power n. N is a natural number, but the highest is what? 4. So, we say n is less than or equal to 4. Take the next one. 2, 4, 6 dash dash dash. What kind of set it is? The dash 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 shows that it can go up to infinite. In fact, it is an infinite set. And what are these numbers? You know that they are all even numbers. So, how do you write it in set builder form? We will say x such that x equal to 2n. N belongs to n. And there is no limit. Why there is no limit? It can go on, because it is an infinite set. So, that is how we will write. Next one, 149 up to 100. Let us say we call it E. We have 1, 4, 9 dash 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 up to 100. Observe these numbers carefully. Try finding out something common in between them. For example, 1 can be written as 1 square, 4 can be written as 2 square, 9 can be written as 3 square, 100 can be written as 10 square. Now, you can write it in set builder form. How do you write it? X such that x is equal to n square. What do you mean by n square? Where n is a natural number and n is less than or equal to 10. Suppose n is less than or equal to 10. Let us say you take 5. N is 5. So, what is x? 5 square. 5 square is what? 25. It will come here. Suppose if you choose n as 3, 3 square. What is 3 square? Is 9. Basically, they are the squares of natural numbers. But not all natural numbers. Only up to 100 or only up to 10. Up to 10 square it is being taken. Let us move to the next problem. He says match the following sets on the left in the roster form with the same set in the right described in set builder form. So, what is the easiest way? Whatever is given in roster form, let us keep as it is. Whatever is given in set builder form, also convert into roster form, then it will be easy for us to, so let us write it. These are the sets in one side. Now whatever is there in the right side, which he has given in set builder form, convert each of them into roster form, then you can find a link. So let us see what are the elements in the right side. He says x is a prime number and divisor of 6. What are the divisors of 6? 1, 2, 3, 6. Choose prime numbers. So the first one will be 2, so next one will be 3. 1 cannot be part of it, 6 cannot be part of it. So here A is this, and then come to B, then come to C, and then come to D. What is B? X is an odd natural number less than 10. Less than 10, whichever odd numbers are there, write it. So we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Third one, x is a natural number and divisor of 6. X is a natural number and it divides 6. So now you can take all numbers which divide 6. In the previous case, it was only prime number. So here we can say 1, 2, 3, 6. And finally he says x is a letter of the word mathematics. So once again write it. Now it is very easy to find out how they are connected. He says match the following. One has got the elements 1, 2, 3, 6. So 1 with C, 1 C, first answer. Second has got element 2, 3 and it has got with that. So we say 2 with A. Then this one with D, that is third one with D. So whatever is left is the fourth one. Fourth one with B. So this is how we solve these problems. They are quite simple, based upon the definitions, basically to clarify the concept. What is set? What do you mean by element of a set? What do you mean by saying that it does not belong to a set? The two ways of representing a set. These problems are given. Let us move forward. We come to the second exercise problems. Once again, the problems are very simple. We don't need to solve. Most of them are objective ones. The first one he says, the question is, which of the following are examples of null set? What is null set? A set which has no elements. If there are no elements in a set, we call it empty set or null set. So let us see in this which are null sets and which are not. He says set of odd natural numbers divisible by 2. Natural numbers which are odd. Why do you call them odd numbers? Because they are not divisible by 2. Where the question says odd numbers which are divisible by 2. If they are divisible by 2, it will be called even number. So there is no odd number which is divisible by 2. So it is an empty set. First one is an empty set. Why? Because there is no odd number which is divisible by 2. If it is divisible by 2, we would have called it even number. Second one he says set of even prime numbers. We know that the prime numbers starts from 2. Even prime number. We have a number 2 which is an even prime number. So it shows that it is not empty. So set of even prime numbers has got one element. In fact, it is called singleton set. What do you mean by singleton set? A set which has got only one element. If a set has got only one element, it is called singleton set. So this is a singleton set, it is not a null set. Let us go to the next one. He says third one, x is a natural number. X is a natural number less than 5. Which are the numbers less than 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. In the same time greater than 6. If it is less than 5, it cannot be greater than 7. He says greater than 7, it cannot be greater than 7. So, it is a null set. So, third one is a null set, because at the same time if a number is less than 5, it cannot be greater than 7. Come to the last one. Y is a point common to any two parallel lines. When do you say lines are parallel? When they do not meet. If they do not meet, there cannot be a common point. So, if there are parallel lines, there is no common point. So, he says Y is a point common to any two parallel lines. So, Y does not exist. So, it is a null set. So, in this way these small things can be answered. Let us move to the next one. He says in the following sets find finite or infinite. Finite means what? When you can count number of elements. Infinite means what? When you cannot count the number of elements. If you can count finite, if you cannot count infinite. First one he says the set of months of a year. Can you count? We know that there are only 12 months. We can count. So, it is a finite set. Second one he says 1, 2, 3 dash 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 dash. What are those numbers? Natural numbers. And set of natural numbers is an infinite set. You do not know how many natural numbers are there. So, the second one is an infinite set. Third one he says 1, 2, 3 dash 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 up to 9900. Can you count number of elements? Yes, of course, they are the first 100 natural numbers. Since we can count, it is a finite set. Fourth one, a set of positive integers greater than 100. Positive integers greater than 100. So, starting from 101, you can keep on writing up to infinity. So, in other words, we cannot count. Since we cannot count, we say it is infinite set. Last one he says set of prime numbers less than 99. Prime numbers, we know that it starts with 2, next is 3, then is 5, then is 7, then is 11, then is 13, then is 17, then is 19. In this particular way, you have to write prime numbers less than 99. Less than 99, the last one is 97. Can we count after writing? Yes, of course we can count. Since we can count, it is also an example of finite set. When you cannot count, then alone we say it is infinite set. So, let us move to the next. In the same exercise, we have the next problem. Once again, it is an objective question. You have to just think and answer. He says state whether each of the following set is finite or infinite. Basically, he wants us to understand the concept. Finite means countable, infinite means uncountable. First one is set of lines which are parallel to x-axis. We know x-axis. How many lines you can draw parallel to x-axis? You can draw any number of lines. So, it is an infinite set. Second one, set of letters in the English alphabet. Can you count number of letters in the English alphabet? Yes, there are 26 letters. Since we can count, it is a finite set. Next, set of numbers which are multiples of 5. Which are the numbers which are multiples of 5? You know the 5 table, 5 1s are 5, 5 2s are 10, 5 3s are 15. So, if you make set of those numbers, you will have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and you know it can go on and on. Since you can go on and on, we cannot find the end. Since we cannot find the end, it is an infinite set. Fourth one, the set of animals living on earth. If only we can know how many are living, which is not very easy task, but the scientists claim that they know how many animals are there. If you feel that you know, you can count them, and if you can count them, you can say it is finite. If you say it is not, then we can say that it is infinite. So, we do not need to go into deep in arguing between we can count, we cannot count. That is not the purpose. If you can count, finite. If you cannot count, infinite. The last one, the set of circles passing through origin. We know that where the x-axis and y-axis meet each other is called origin. How many circles you can draw passing through origin? Any number of circles can be drawn. Since we can draw any number of circles passing through origin, the number of circles is also infinite. You can draw one circle, your friend can draw one more circle, third person can draw third circle, all of them something like this. This is origin. So I can draw a circle like this, another 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 can draw a circle like this. So you can keep on drawing any number of circles passing through origin. So it is an infinite set. So we'll move to the next problem. He is asking whether A and B are equal or not. When do we say two sets are equal? When all the elements of first set are present in second one. If all the elements of second set are present in first set, we say they are equal. So let us have a look at it. This is problem number 4. The first one is this is one set A, and then he has given the another set in the other side B equal to D C B A. What do you say? A, it is there, B, it is there, C, it is there, D, it is there, and B has nothing else which is more than what is there in A. So conclusion, both are equal. But there is something to learn from this problem. What is to be learned from this problem? We learn that even if the elements come in a different order, it does not matter. In set theory, whether you write A, B, C, D or you write D, C, B, A, it does not matter. Order is not important. Okay? So we can say that A and B are equal. A is equal to B. Why? Because all the elements of A are in B and all the elements of B are present in A. So A is equal to B. Let us go to the next one. 4, 8, 12, 16. And what are the elements in B? 8, 4, 16, 18. 4, yes. 8, yes. 12 is not there. So we find that 12 belongs to A, but 12 does not belong to B. Hence, A is not equal to B. Even if one element of one set is not present in the other one, we say they are not equal. Let us move to the next. He says 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And B is x is a positive even integer less than or equal to 10. What happens is, here he has given in roster form, that particular set is in set builder form. Whenever such situation comes, simply convert the set which is in set builder form to roster form. It becomes easy to compare. Even numbers less than or equal to 10. So what are the even numbers less than or equal to 10? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, including 10. Now compare. You can find that all the elements are there in B, all the elements of B are in A. Conclusion, A equal to B. Last one. X is a multiple of 10. He has given in set builder form, convert into roster form. Multiples of 10. Which are the multiples of 10? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, etc. This is one set. And then he has given B in roster form, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, dash, dash, dash. 10 is present, 20 is present, 30 is present, 40 and 50 also will be present. So all the elements of A are in B. Now check whether all elements of B are in A. B has got an element 15 which is not in A. 25 is an element which is not in A. So we say 15 belongs to B, but 15 does not belong to A. Conclusion, A is not equal to B. So, what do we understand? Two sets A and B are said to be equal if all elements of A are present in B and all elements of B are present in A. Both the sets are said to be equal. Let us proceed to the next problem. Yes, he says in the sixth problem, from the sets given below, select once again equal sets. Very simple, sets which are equal, but now he has given 8 different sets. A has got elements 2, 4, B has got 1, 2, 3, 4, C has got 4, 8, 12, 14, D has got 3, 1, 4, 2, E has got elements minus 1, 1, F has got elements 0, comma A, and H has got elements 0, 1. He says from the list of sets, find out which are equal. First set is 2, 4, 8, 12. Do you have 2, 4, 8, 12 anywhere? So, A is not equal to any set, leave it. Come to B, what are the elements? 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you find 1, 2, 3, 4 in any other set? We don't. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So, we can say that B is equal to D. It is not equal to anything else, but B and D are equal. Come to C. What are the elements? 4, 8, 12, 14. Do you find 4, 8, 12, 18, 14 anywhere? No. So, C is also not equal to anything. Come to D. D we already wrote that B and D are equal. Leave it. Go to the E. What are the elements? Minus 1, 1. Here we have G 1, comma minus 1. We already learned that if the order is changed, if they come in any order, that does not change the set. So, we can say that E is equal to G. E and G are equal sets. Why? It has got minus 1, it's also got minus 1, it has got 1, this also got 1. Both the sets are equal. Come to F. What are the elements? 0, comma A. Do you have 0, comma A anywhere? No. So, there is no set which is equal to F. G we already wrote. H, what are the elements? 0, comma 1. Do you have any set with 0, 1? No. So, these are the only two sets, are the two sets which are equal. B is equal to D and E equal to G. Why they are equal? Because elements in B are there in D, elements of D are in B. Similarly, elements of E are in G, elements of G are present in E. So, B equal to D and E equal to G. Next, we have few more problems in the textbook, very similar to this. Please solve those problems and complete this particular exercise in order to understand the concept of what is set, what is singleton set, what is finite set, what is infinite set, what do we mean by saying that two sets are equal, what are the symbols belongs to and does not belong to mean. All these concepts will clear once you sit and solve the problems. So, that is a homework for you. We come to a close of this particular session, and in the next session we study some more sets continuing this particular chapter. So, till then, Sai Ram, thank you.